Have you heard about, hi, I'm your friendly neighborhood witch. Have you heard about if you're a spiritualist, have you heard about the fifth dimension? There's lots of talk in the spiritual community about going from, we are currently in the 3D, the third dimension, and there's lots of talk about going to the fifth dimension. First of all, the third dimension is your standard day-to-day life. Time is linear, you know what I mean? Like you've got Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. There's 24 hours in a day. There's 7 days in a week. There's 12 months in a year. Time goes forward, right? It doesn't go backward. It doesn't go, but sometimes, it can interrupt that. But we're not going to talk about that right now. We're not going to talk about time slips right now. But that is the third dimension. Okay, the fourth dimension is where your loved ones go, my loved ones, everyone's loved ones, and our hated ones. This is where they go when they die. This is the incorporeal world that they go to when they die. So they don't have a body anymore and they're kind of fucking around wherever they fucking want to go. That's the fourth dimension, okay? You also go there when you're sleeping. In your dreams, that's the fourth dimension. That's why if you've had loved ones who've come to you in your dreams in the past, it's easier for them to reach you in the 4D, which is in your dreams, than it is in this world. It's very difficult. It takes a lot of energy. It's very difficult for your loved ones to reach you in this incarnation, when you're in this physical body in the 3D world. It's harder for them to get to you. In the 4D, it's a lot easier, which is why you probably see a lot of ones that have passed on that will visit you in your dreams, because you're in the same dimension as them. Fifth dimension is somewhere you can get from the 4D or the 3D, and the fifth dimension is where a lot of people who are not deranged have been. What the fifth dimension is, or how the fifth dimension is, I would describe it like this. Have you ever had, and I'm sure that you have you ever gone to see a movie with your friend? When you got out of the movie, it was an incredible movie, and you and your friend are walking home. You look up at the sky, and you look up at the stars, and you notice a certain star is brighter than usual, and you're looking around the world and thinking, oh my God, how beautiful. What an incredible movie, what an incredible sky. You look over at your friend and feel so grateful that you have this incredible friend to go see the movie with. You're talking, you're having a wonderful time. Maybe you go for a glass of wine after, you continue your talk, and you're having an incredible night. You go home, you close your eyes, think, oh, life is beautiful, and you go to sleep. That's the fifth dimension. So the way to get to the fifth dimension is through two things. It's gratitude and connection. When you have those moments, and it's usually from the simplest of things, like you're sitting outside on a picnic with friends or with your loved one or with your partner or with your family or something, or with your dog or your cat, and you're just like, this is so amazing. It's when you're in that moment of full gratitude that I love this moment, I wish I could hold this moment forever, this is an incredible moment. A lot of the times you can find that when you're camping, you find it when you're out for walks in nature. It's very easy to get to when you're out for walks in nature. When you go and you see an incredible movie, usually it's pretty easy to get to when you experience art. So if you go to an incredible concert, that happens a lot to a lot of people at concerts. When you go to a play, you go to a movie, you go to an art show, like that, it's when you realize you're kind of connected with everyone and everything, and when you realize the beauty of the universe, that is the fifth dimension. Okay? And it doesn't require money, it doesn't require any of that sort of thing. It's just when you're in that moment of gratitude, like, this is so freaking amazing. I'm so grateful for this. That's the fifth dimension. Many people have been there multiple times, but the reason I think why they're saying that there's going to be a great shift and a split is because some people are going to understand more and more, and are beginning to understand. You see that right now with the people, you see the flotilla going, the flotilla with the 40 plus ships going forward. They've really understood the connection of all of us, that we are all connected, so we all have to stand up for each other. And so that is where, when they talk about the people that would still be in the 3D and the people in the 5D, you look at somebody like Elon Musk, he's never connected to anything. I doubt he's ever had a moment in his life of pure, unadulterated, unfiltered gratitude, where he's been like, this is so amazing. He's always looking for the next hit, the next zero on his paycheck. He's never happy. He's always unhappy. You will find a person who is making, say, like $30,000, $45,000 a year. You can find a person like that who's like, who works 5 to 6 days a week, who may be stressed all the time, but they may be reaching the fifth dimension. They'll reach in the fifth dimension a lot more and a lot quicker and a lot more likely than he is, because they're able to sit in their gratitude and really sit down, maybe have a really good meal. If you cook a really good meal, or someone cooks a really good meal for you, and you're sitting there eating, going, this is amazing, oh my God, like, this is the most incredible pasta I've ever had. That's the fifth dimension, and people like Elon Musk never get there because they don't experience gratitude and they don't experience connection. The Zuckerbergs of the world are not connected to the rest of the world. They're just they're isolated in their own world, and they don't feel the gratitude of being here, of moments when they're here and they really really love what they're doing or really really love what's happening, and so they never reach the fifth dimension. So that's where the divide is coming from. It's the people who can connect and who can experience gratitude and who are going to experience that more and more as life progresses, and the people who do not, the people who are never grateful, the people who are always miserable, the people who feel like they can exploit other people and that it doesn't come back to them, and that they do not feel in any way connected to anybody else or what anyone else is going through. And that's the split that we're talking about. So a lot of times you'll see that people have gone to the fifth dimension through drugs, and that absolutely happens, like shrooms or something like that. And the reason for that is because when they're doing these shrooms, they realize that everything is connected. They see the beauty in everything. They look at the sky and see how beautiful it is. They look at the trees and see how incredible they are. They look at the animals and see how amazing they are and what they're made up of. They feel the connection to everything. And so that's why you see so many people in those incredibly elevated states in the fifth dimension doing drugs. But the problem is, if you haven't done the work on yourself and you're just doing drugs, you can become addicted because you're not getting there by your own means. You're not getting there without the drugs. You're just only getting there with the drugs, and become addicted to that feeling. And instead of doing the work to really understand what gratitude is and what connection is, there becomes an addiction. Or that you go there, you take the drug and you go there, but you weren't even ready for it. You weren't mentally ready for it, because there's always lessons. You always need to you need to be in the right frame of mind to receive the lesson. So if you're doing a drug and you're not even, say you're in the 3D all the time, you're never, like Elon Musk would do a drug and he's always miserable, and then suddenly he feels all that connection, and then suddenly it's all gone. That can really fuck people up. So that's why that's the connection to the 5D and drugs and all of that. But that's a roundabout connection to the 5D and what's going on with that. But if you want to experience the 5D again, all you need to do is lock into your gratitude. Lock into your gratitude and really try to, you can do that with the ways that I suggested. Getting involved in the arts, going for walks in nature, hanging out with friends and people that you really love or really, really care about, cooking yourself a really nice meal, gardening, hang out with your pets, and you can lock into the 5D that way. Hope this helps, and keep on keeping on. All the best.